Hey everybody, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World Electronics, and today I got a second-hand Gigabyte motherboard. Let me get my flashlight here. It's a 5-slot PCI Express motherboard that I got. I got the motherboard and a 550 GTX 550 Ti, plus the motherboard, processor, cooler, and RAM, plus a monitor and speakers for $50 today. So you can find some deals out there. And right now I am setting up I'm going to try to set up 5 graphic cards on this motherboard. And currently Windows is, well, it's been a couple hours process installing Windows 10 on a hard drive, and then installed one card to start with here right on the motherboard, and then I got Windows installed and running. Then I set up card number 2 in the next slot over, and then Windows installed nicely on that. When I tried doing the next card in the next slot, nothing really happened for a while, and I thought maybe Microsoft wasn't going to boot up. But I did the same thing in the next slot. When I tried the other slot, I waited longer. There was a blue screen on the monitor which just said no input, or whatever. The monitor was telling me there was no connection. But I waited. And I waited and waited, and it did come up. So in the background, Windows must have been doing something with no display. And so I've got 3 cards running, and Microsoft requested I did a reboot, and then I'm going to install a 4th card as soon as I get this running. And I'm going to go through how to do this all one day in a separate video. But I use my MSI Afterburner to overclock. Or not overclock, but I don't overclock, but I mean you can with it, but I use it to crank up my fans. Their Afterburner just kicked in. All 3 fans just went up to full power. But I open up Afterburner manually so I can check and see. Windows is still working in the background. When it comes up, then I'll know it's ready. So I use Afterburner, and I can see if all the processors are installed, because you can see every single one of them in that program. I love it for that purpose alone. So once Microsoft is done here, brings up Afterburner, I'll check and verify all 3 graphic cards are running properly, but from what I can tell, all 3 fans just fired up to maximum, so that's a good sign. And then I'm going to shut it down and put in a 4th card. And for now, that's all I've got. I've got 4 cards of the same that I'm going to put on here for tonight. The other card I have is a little bit higher powered, and I don't want to run it. This is a smaller power supply, so I don't want to overdo that. And yeah, we'll be back when I get that 4th card on here. See how it goes. Afterburner just kicked in, so I'm going to show you here. See if I can look through the camera while I do this. Oh, where's my mouse? I already got it up. See, 3 graphic cards, and they're all synced right here together. They're all synchronized together, so they're all installed. That's, for me, that's how I know it's running, is when I get that going. So I'm going to restart the computer and put in a 4th card, see what happens here. This is what I'm talking about. No signal. That's what I meant. I put card number 4 on here, and I've got 3 cards on the rail, and I've got 1 on the motherboard. And with time, screen goes black, and then Windows is booting up. So that's card number 4. This is an awesome motherboard. I found this on Craigslist and picked it up today. So that's a really good motherboard for mining. It's a shame because it's a I believe it's a 6-core AMD with a really good overclocking motherboard and DDR3 RAM. So anyway, I'm not into gaming anymore like I used to. And mining is important to me. So there is what's going on there. Maybe one day, but right now this is the biggest motherboard I got with 5 PCI Express slots. And Windows is booting up. 4 graphic cards. 4 of the same card right now. And I'll give it a minute because it's probably thinking. Let me see what's in the device manager right now. Yeah, it's still thinking. It's probably still installing the other card. Yeah, we'll get back to you in a minute. I believe it's still installing, unless it's going to come up. Nope, it's still thinking. Oh, look at that, guys. Alright, they're older cards, but I'm mining. 4 1050s. Oh, what did Windows do? I have no idea. Oh, Windows is still installing the software. 4 1050s. That's awesome. They're all going to run at the same time now. Looking good. There it is, guys. All 4 at the same time running. So I'm going to pop open a miner program. I've got everything maxed out. What's our fan speed at? 91%. That's fine for now. This is not a really intensive program that I'm running. At least not to my, not that I've noticed. The power output, or the power consumption, when running this one coin I'm running, is way lower than with like Ethereum, for example. Well, let's see what happens here. Microsoft might still be working in the background. Might take a minute. I might have to restart the miner. Detect a new work. It's detecting work, but it's not picking it up yet. Should be hitting a whole lot of shares right now. I might restart it in a minute. Windows might still be working in the background, but there's 4 cards right now recognized. That's a nice motherboard right there. I am very pleased with that. There it is, guys. Just fired it up. I had to reboot the computer. That is a nice sight. That's a pretty sight. Look at all that green. Look at all that green. That's a beautiful sight. 4 GTX 1050s. Oh, look at that. Look at that. All that green. Wow. Just going and going and going. Look at that. Alright, guys. Well, now I've got to dissect everything. I'm going to put all... It's too bad with this program, none of the power usage shows up or anything. But I'm getting 590 SOL total at this time anyway, with 4 GTX 1050s. So that's this computer here. I've got 1, 2, 3 rigs here on a frame. This one is hacked up, and I'm going to put a motherboard with 3 slots on here. This one won't take the second slot. It won't work. And that one's only got 2 slots, and that's 2 1060s. So for now, that's staying as is. But I've got to break this all down and move it out of the living room. Promised my wife I would, so I'm going to shut everything down here in a few minutes and move it on in there. Alright, guys, that's setting up a miner. Nice miner. Got four cards in there for now. When I get it set up, I'll come back and I'll try getting the I got a GTX 1060. I'm going to pull off this, it's running now, and put it down on here and see if I can get all 5 cards running on this motherboard at one time. And then the other 3 cards I've got, I'll run on another motherboard that has 3 slots until I get better equipment. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World Electronics. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share.